Hey guys, we're going to talk about how little numbers become really big numbers in this video, and I'm going to show you personally how making one change to my 401k accounts, I'm able to save around $300 per year, which is almost 60 Starbucks lattes. So I want to share this in hopes of, at the start of this new year, people are taking a fresh look at their investments, a fresh look at their 401k, but I learned I was leaving money on the table, and at the start of this year, based on the changes I make, I'm going to save around $300 per year, which turns into tens of thousands of dollars with compound interest and as I grow older. So I really want to share this in hopes of people learning and also taking a fresh look at their investments and their 401k. So let's get started. Right before we start, let's talk about what a 401k is, and we're going to touch on it in literally 15 seconds. A 401k is a pre-tax savings account for retirement. You basically put money in it, sometimes your employer's matches, and you put all that money before tax. Once you get of retirement age, you're able to withdraw that money and then the government taxes you. It's actually the most common way that people are saving for 401ks across America. So it's a really good tool to use. Now, let's talk about the downside. So the challenge of a 401k, I've learned, is there's all kinds of fees that they make really confusing. And Wall Street and banks and investment companies, they love to do something which is basically adding confusing monthly fees to all of your accounts and not being super clear or transparent on what those costs are. And I've learned that. So the theme of this video is to really break down the costs that you're going to be paying every single month, every single year in your 401k in an easy to understand way, and then show you how to eliminate them so you could potentially save hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars per year. So I really want people to walk away from this video with an understanding on how to do that for your own life. And I'm going to show you my personal example with my own money, the mistakes I've made, along with what I'm doing differently next year so that I can save some money. Excellent. So let's talk about the ways to reduce your 401k's cost. There's three very simple ways. The first one is you can eliminate those hidden admin fees that I was just talking about. The second one is you can also reduce the fund expense fees, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but each fund has a certain cost. And by changing your money to more affordable options, you can save a lot of money. The third thing is a lot of people use active money managers. A way to save money and help your 401k grow faster and larger over time is to move that money outside of your active manager's purview. So we're going to really focus on the first one today because it's really easy and simple, but I just want everyone to understand that each of these changes individually over the course of a lifetime can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. So just taking a quick fresh look at your 401k and your investments, you can find money on the table just as I did. So that's really the intent of this video, is let's give Wall Street less of our fees or less of our money through fees, and let's keep more of it for ourselves so that we can retire later in life. So right before we jump into it, I wanted to share my personal 401k plans and two of the plans that I've had working at different companies. And the intent of this is to show how I've been making good decisions, but also mistakes. And what I want to do is I want to help people learn from that. So I have worked at 3 different companies in my life, and at 2 of the companies I had a 401k that I've completely ignored and just put money in each year and ignored it. And what that's done is I've basically been not aware of all the hidden admin fees. So at the start of this year, I wanted to take a deep dive in these 2 plans and show you guys how much money I could save so that you guys know yourself that if you take your own look and you help move money or you understand the numbers for yourself, there could be potential for you to save hundreds of dollars every year. So I've made a mistake in these 2 accounts and I've completely ignored the costs each year. But what we're going to show in the next example is how the 2 fees break down in these 2 accounts so you guys can see a real life example on how you do this. So for me personally, I have 2 fund fees or 2 fees in my account. The first one is admin fees, and these are the pesky monthly and quarterly funds that I've seen subtracted each month that I haven't asked about for the past few years. So that's the mistake I made. And the second one is the fund fees. This is just the cost of owning a fund. So whatever thing you buy in your 401k, they all have expense ratios or expense fees that basically charge you each year for owning the fund. So let's go ahead and jump into the next. So when we look at how much money is on the table or how much money these plans cost, I was really shocked to see that I was paying for these 2 401ks almost $500 or $400 per year in costs. And that's just money that banks are getting from me free of charge. And it's money I'm leaving on the table is what I learned. So the way it breaks down is at Unilever and LlamaSoft, I'm paying around $290 a month on simply admin fees. These are fees that the employers negotiate and basically charge me each quarter just for keeping my money. Doesn't matter really how much money I have, they're just annual fees that I'm paying no matter what. And that $438, what I've learned later, is completely avoidable. And this year, at the start of this year, I'm moving all my money to a different plan so I can completely eliminate those fees. And what I was really shocked about that is that admin fee is more than I spend on subscriptions for the entire year. So there was this hidden cost in my 401k that I was completely ignoring, and I learned that I can actually save all that money and eliminate it by transferring to a different company. The other cost is fund fees. So if you can see, I'm paying around $150 a year in fund fees, which is really good. You expect to pay around 0.5% to 1% in fund fees per year. And all of my employers, they had really good options. But what I have seen in other 401ks is I've seen really high fund fees. So if your fund fees are 1% or 2% of your fund, you really need to talk to your employer and reevaluate your options, because that's really high. But what I found for me personally is that eliminating the admin fees is a huge opportunity. So what we're going to talk about now is how do you eliminate the admin fee? So you can't, if you're working at a company now, you can't move your 401k to an IRA. But if you've changed companies and left the company, you can move your 401ks to an IRA. We can completely eliminate the admin fee by moving our 401ks from old companies to an IRA without a fee. And this is a really big benefit. So if you look at that $290, it might not sound like a ton of money, but most people keep money in their 401k for a long time, which means all the money you have compounds and grows over time. So that $290 over a 30-year period, growing at an 8% rate, will grow to around $35,000. So this really shows how small improvements or small additions to either your savings or just simply by reducing fees, you're able to compound and grow that money over a long period of time and make a really big difference. Now we're going to transition to the Vanguard example, and we're going to show you specifically this account and how we make that account have zero fees. So here's the detail on the Vanguard account. Your admin fees for the account are, if you have less than $10,000 per year, they'll charge you $20 per year. That's much less than all the other plans that I just showed on this slide. And finally, once you get past $10,000 a year, you will have no fee. So what I love about this is Vanguard tells you, here's the fees we have, and then here's how you can avoid them. They make it really simple. So I'm moving all my money to this Vanguard IRA account at the start of this year, and that's how I'm basically going to save the $391. The final thing I want to add here is I am not a tax professional and I am not your CPA. So please share this YouTube video with your CPA and ask if it works for you. Everyone has a different tax situation, and I think it's really important to consult a professional. So share this video and ask your CPA, ask your accountant how much money you could save you personally by doing this. They'll be able to tell you. Hey guys, thanks for watching this entire video. In the future, I'm going to post 2 more videos on how to help get all the money you can out of your 401k. That will be focused on reducing your fund fees and making sure we're not paying active management fees. So I'm really excited about releasing that content in the future. So please like and subscribe, and you'll see more content from me every single week. Thank you very much.